What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of Wrestling That Made Us. I am your host. I'm the notorious one. I am Dom. Today's guest, we have a longtime friend of mine, a longtime fan, and a guest of the show, It Doesn't Matter podcast. He is back, and he wanted to talk about WrestleMania VII featuring Hulk Hogan and Sergeant Slaughter. This guy right here, he is a savage. Savage Eddie Long is back. Eddie, what's going on, man?
Thank you, Dom. I really appreciate it. And I just wanted to take a moment and,
Uh-oh, here come the glasses.
frankly, I want to take a moment and thank you for the invitation to the It Doesn't Matter podcast to set the record straight about two things when it comes to Mania 7. Number one, the real main event here of WrestleMania 7 was not Sergeant Slaughter versus Hogan. The real main event was the Ultimate Warrior versus the Macho Man Randy Savage. Number two,
Oh, yeah.
when that bell rings here, it doesn't just mean start the match. No. It also means classes in session, yeah. And you know, Notorious One, and all the It Doesn't Matter podcast fans know, everybody knows that when that bell rings, yeah, and when class is in session, that the Macho Man is the teacher. And that's why from this day forward, you can refer to me, yeah, as Mr. Savage. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a good episode right here. Eddie, what's going on, man? Welcome
feeling
back.
Nostalgic. I'm feeling nostalgic.
Yes.
I have been looking forward to this for quite some time. Congratulations on the new segment.
Thank you.
I do love it. The idea that we can just talk not about old school wrestling, but specifically the matches that made us. I mean, I have goosebumps. I got the Rocky goosebumps. I really do. When you first invited me and told me about the show, the way you framed it up was really making me think about the earliest, fondest memories of wrestling I have, and I landed on Mania 7.
One of my favorite ones as a kid. That's definitely one of my favorite ones. I still watch every year, leading up to the current WrestleMania.
Yeah, the time. I mean, so many different eras in wrestling, and we can go through all of them, but I mean, this is the era that I jumped in on, and so no matter what came after it, right, how crazy it was, and how many more things came that appealed to me, this era in wrestling is always going to have a special place in my heart.
Damn right. This is 1991, March of 1991. A lot of face paint, a lot of tassels, and a lot of steroids. So,
Lots of tassels, that is correct.
Heck yeah. So WrestleMania 7, it features the debut of The Undertaker with the streak.
Mm-hmm.
He goes against Superfly Jimmy Snuka. I know that was monumental for everything in professional wrestling, and him going against a Hall of Famer like that.
Oh yeah. So it's funny you start with Taker because now I do think one of my earliest, most fondest memories of wrestling is this Mania, but even more so than Hulk Hogan, because I remember watching Hulk Hogan and all his battles when I was a kid and all the face painted villains he went up against. But the first one to really grab me and make me kind of say I like that was definitely Undertaker.
Okay.
Some of my friends and I who watched wrestling, when I first started watching wrestling was with some of my friends who were a little older, and they were batshit crazy over Hulk Hogan. And I liked wrestling. We wrestled. I remember putting the couches together in my homeboy's living room so we can have a ring. And his mom hated it. And we were all over the yard wrestling and all that stuff. But I just didn't get grabbed by Hogan like a lot of people did. But I appreciated how amazing he was. But The Undertaker, man, I always loved the villains. I have to say this. The last Halloween costume that my mom picked for me, basically, was Care Bears. I was a Care Bear, okay? And then the first year, my mom really was like, what do you want to be? Like, seriously, like, what? Like, you could be anything. I'll make you a costume, I remember.
Yep.
and I went for Count Dracula.
Okay.
Like night and day, or day and night,
Yeah.
I should say. And the next year, Count Dracula again, because I loved it. The cape,
Yeah.
the black. I mean, I was just in heaven. And so somebody like The Undertaker is going to speak to a kid like that.
Yeah. Yep. So you down to the dark side. Because when I was a kid, I wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
So I had the Hulk Hogan whole costume with the mask. I'm flexing, doing the pose, and
Yeah.
I'll post it. I mentioned it on our Hulk Hogan episode on the It Doesn't Matter podcast. So I
Yes.
definitely got to post that picture.
Very good episode. You should catch it.
Yes, yeah. So
No, and I can appreciate that too. That's what I'm saying. It's like my personal preference. Like I always tell people, my personal favorite rapper of all time, Busta Rhymes.
Okay.
I don't think he's the best of all time. I personally think that's Nas. All right. But I like flashy. I like flamboyant.
Yeah.
That is Busta, right? So he's for me. And if you like villains, you know, somebody like The Undertaker would appeal to you. Yeah, for sure.
So if you like flashy and you like villains, I know you was like loving Macho King.
Oh yeah,
And,
that's what I was going to say. Hogan. Even I though could appreciate the, you know, like this feels good. It feels good to do this. You win something, you get a good score on a test or whatever, some kind of victory. I mean, you revert.
You're flexing.
To that Hogan. And that's why I think it appealed to so many people, because it was very natural, very organic. He was doing what everybody wanted to be doing, celebrating and flexing and all that. Yeah.
At that time, well, especially as a kid, it didn't feel force fed.
No. So the appeal, I think, is, you know, it's the macho, right?
Yeah.
Pun intended, I guess.
He's bigger than life.
But for me, for how old I am, when I think about the character of Hulk Hogan, you know what I think also might have made it so that like it wasn't so exciting to me, because I was a He-Man fan, and I think I remember looking at Hulk Hogan and thinking like this is like a real life He-Man figure, you know, like
yeah.
But I loved He-Man. I liked the action figures, which we'll get into later with Sergeant Slaughter, G.I. Joe. But I mean that appeal is always there for a kid. It's Superman, right? It's Hercules. It's all of that. He had all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hogan had the look, and that's what Vince wanted back in the 80s and early 90s.
And you know what's funny too is, I have to say, for Hogan to stand out was definitely a testament to just how charismatic he was, because think of the personalities that were in that locker room with him.
Oh my goodness.
Think of the other faces and the egos that were on that card with him, and still he was head and shoulders above them.
Hogan,
but
warrior.
It says a lot about how good he was, because it is not to diminish those other players on the card.
Yeah.
I mean, Jake the Snake, Greg the Hammer. I mean, just from this show alone, Undertaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so WrestleMania 7 had a lot of Hall of Famers, a lot of guys who's not with us nowadays. It's been since 1991.
And one Hall of Famer who is with us, Willie Nelson, sang America the
Yeah.
Beautiful. I've seen Willie Nelson.
Oh, yeah?
Before, but it wasn't at this Mania.
So you said, we were talking about this earlier, you said you watched this live? Were you in attendance, or were you just watching like on
Yeah,
pay-per-view?
I did say live. I should correct the record.
Okay.
Because I was not there. But I remember watching this at home. Because, like I said, some of my older friends, I remember them loving wrestling, and I got into it, and I remember they love Hogan and stuff. But the first pay-per-view, maybe, certainly the first Mania that I remember, what was this one, watching it at home.
So this show right here, WrestleMania 7, had a little bit of everything for somebody. They had a blindfold match featuring Jake the Snake Roberts and the model Rick Martel. That was money right there. I enjoyed that. And, you know, it was cheesy, but the storyline, the build-up to it was, where was Jake at? Because everybody had like a venue to record a show, whatever. Like Shawn Michaels had the Heartbreak Hotel. Where were they at? The Snake Pit?
The Snake Pit.
So it was a Snake Pit. And then you see Rick Martel with the arrogance, and he's spraying at the bag, and Jake's like, "What the hell are you doing?" He got in Rick's face, and Rick just sprayed it.
Yeah.
Oh man! Next you know, you see Jake the following week, his eyes all white, not knowing you could put like a white contact in and whatnot. So
that's crazy. I forgot about that part.
Yeah.
But I do remember this match. This is high gimmick, you know. This is a straight gimmick match.
Yep.
But I do remember it. I really, really do.
Jake the Snake, I mean, one of the best to ever do it. When we're talking about villains, definitely one of the top villains. Greg the Hammer Valentine, though. Or, no. Rick the Model Martel. He was a bad guy, but I really loved him when I was young. Didn't really stand out.
Yeah.
And you put him up against Jake. I mean, Jake is the star.
Yeah,
Jake
of
is
course.
the star. Everybody loved Jake.
Yeah, so we also have the Nasty Boys with Colonel Jimmy Parker going against the Hart Foundation, Brett and Jim Neidhart Neidhart. And this is for the tag team titles. The Nasty Boys won. And after this, Brett, he starts his solo run.
Yeah, that's the thing too about this specific show, because we know WrestleMania is the blow off to a lot of storylines, and at the same time will also be the impetus for a lot of new storylines. Great formula. Don't mess with it. It's perfect.
Yep.
And so Bret Hart set about on his solo career really starting after this match. You're right about that. The Hart Foundation, who didn't love them, even if you hated them, you would not say they were bad wrestlers. And this match stands out to me too, for a very silly reason. But I mean, I'm a visual person. Tag teams should have matching attire, and not a lot of better examples than the Hart Foundation, who basically were wearing the same thing, and the Nasty Boys. I love when there's no mistaking that this is your tag team partner.
Yeah.
You know, and that even when I was a kid, I appreciated that visual. Just a good looking set of tag teams.
Well, also on this show, we also have another tag team, the Rockers, taking on the Orient Express. And then shortly after this, you start seeing Sean and Marty start crumbling. And then Sean, he goes on to a single career too.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a lot of storytelling right here.
Yeah, it makes you think there is something shifting, right? Because we know what we're leading towards. We're still years off from the Attitude Era. But you can see that realism that made the Attitude Era so popular creep in every once in a while. Again, Bret Hart, ahead of his time.
Of course.
Of all the things you can say about Bret Hart, he is ahead of it. He was ahead of his time, with the look, all of it. I mean, a lot of things shifting, slowly beginning to shift, breaking up the Rockers, breaking up the Hart Foundation, beginning a streak.
And the streak, that wasn't even supposed to happen. It was like a happy accident. It just took place.
Yeah, you could not look. I mean, we all know what Mark Calloway looked like before he was done over like the Undertaker. Even when he was in that getup, I'm sure they weren't looking at him and thinking like, 20 years out of this guy, we're gonna get 2 decades out of this exact thing.
That's crazy.
They weren't thinking that. Even Vince couldn't see that. There's no way. He saw something, but he didn't see that, and he definitely didn't see a streak.
Definitely. All right, so let's get into the main event. So why did you choose Hulk Hogan and Sergeant Slaughter?
So, before we get to this one, just a brief detour to talk about the territory days. All right? Real heat, right? Like, I want to kill you heat, you know?
Yeah.
And so, there is kayfabe strong as ever in the territory days. You didn't really have to try very hard to make people believe what they were seeing. It got a little more difficult as time went on, but it still stayed in place. But that nuclear heat that you could get back in the territory days, that ain't going to be forever.
No.
But it is very much alive in this feud because of another aspect, which is the work shoot, right?
Yep.
So, for those watching at home, right, that may not be in the know, work is for play, or, and shooting is for real.
Legit.
And so we've got somebody, like Sergeant Slaughter that we're supposed to believe is a heel. I mean, they did a good job of that, but to keep that going, you got to really keep up the heat. It's not just you put him in the uniform.
So this is taking place during the Gulf War,
right? And that's what I'm getting to.
Yep.
That's the shoot part of it. You could try to turn the real great American hero, Sergeant Slaughter, right, into a bad guy, and you'd have some success. But there was no one on the planet that didn't know what was happening in the Middle East at the time.
No.
So to latch this story onto that even as a kid, I was still like, I feel like this might be what's happening. This is, and it was really reaching people. I'm a kid, so I was hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't all kids in that crowd.
No.
And you weren't going to get a kid chasing Sergeant Slaughter saying, "I want to kill you." This was really, really working.
Yeah, it was so bad that WrestleMania 7 was supposed to be outdoors in the LA Coliseum.
Mm-hmm.
And Slaughter, he was getting death threats at his house and to the company itself.
Yeah.
So that's why they moved it into this is not the Staples Center. I can't think of where in LA they're wrestling at right now.
Center?
Nah, that's Chicago, right?
Oh yeah. I got something else in my mind.
Where the hell?
I think I have it here. Coliseum?
Is it Coliseum?
No, the Coliseum was the first one.
Yeah. Where the hell they
I can't remember.
The Los Angeles Memorial Sports Arena.
Okay.
That's what it's called at the
Coliseum
time.
to the arena.
Yeah.
There
So
it is.
they downgraded.
They downgraded significantly in terms of size, for sure.
Anything could pop off when you outdoors, you know?
Yeah, I mean
So-
that is true, and that was a big part of the conversation. Is they were looking for over 100,000 people,
Yeah.
and the arena, the authorities said, "There's no way we can police this many people," and I probably agree with that.
Yeah. At that time, yeah.
But that's in general, right? If you get a bunch of people together to listen to music, you still have the possibility something can go wrong. Everyone in this arena was really mad at one specific person that was going to be at this show. Security was real. Security was a real issue.
Oh, yeah.
So to downgrade it, I mean, they definitely packed that place. But there was also another aspect, which was, I mean, we talk about nuclear heat. Nuclear heat is what makes people show up and buy a ticket, you know, because they want to see you get laid out.
Yes.
I mean, they want to see blood.
Yep.
And he might have crept into the level right above nuclear heat, which is right below go home heat.
Yep.
And it's the I don't even care heat. It's the I can't even heat, right? Where they're just like, I don't even know if I want to even go deal with him. But we cannot understate the significance, the role that war played in this storyline. It is based on that war. It's the whole storyline, because even away from the characters, right? Away from those specific characters, you were still going to get that kind of reaction out of people. Tugboat, you know about that?
What?
I can tell by your face you may not. Vince McMahon's original idea for someone to sympathize with the Iraqis so that there could be heat was Tugboat. And we can thank Brother Love for talking him out of that and looking at someone like Sergeant Slaughter and being like, actually, if you really want to piss people off, that's the way to go. So that's why I say, even away from the characters that were in the story was going to get you heat.
Yeah.
They could have put Tugboat in that spot and people would have still wanted to see him die. The fact that you took an actual G.I. Joe,
An actual guy says the Pledge of Allegiance and everything. Yeah. To carry him the red, white, and blue flag and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. You took a G.I. Joe and
to burn the flag.
Yeah.
To burn the flag, to get a pair of Iron Sheik's boots.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Those boots are hot. I ain't gonna lie. I like those boots.
Talk about details, though.
Oh, man. To pair up with Iron Sheik and General Adnan.
You know, a level right below getting the Iraqi flag tattooed is probably getting those boots. And like it was that bad.
Yeah.
People were like, not the boots too, you know? Thorough.
Oh,
Very
man.
thorough.
Okay, so
But that's why, because, and I mean, I feel like the story of this particular feud in my life has a lot of legs, because it did make me pay attention as a kid in a way that some of the other storylines didn't. Again, I didn't love Hulk Hogan, but I really had to pay attention to this.
You had to.
This was grabbing me. And it instilled a sense of patriotism in me. It really did.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that aspect of life. I didn't consider that. We love LeBron. We love Durant. right?
Yep.
But we really love to cheer for them when they have the red, white, and blue on.
Yes, when they won the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
damn right. We all supported them.
I mean,
damn right.
but you know, but we were cheering for them even louder when they were losing.
Yeah.
Come on!
Yeah, come on.
Come on!
Yeah,
We were, you know,
Yep.
it's impossible not to get swept up in that kind of thing, and so, yeah, I mean that didn't leave me. That didn't leave me. I am very patriotic.
You're a real American.
I am a real American.
You're a real American.
I belong here. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? This is my country.
Yes.
And Hulk Hogan made me feel that way. Hulk Hogan made me feel that way because before that, this guy, Sergeant Slaughter, made me feel like, that we should question it or that it was under threat or whatever. And that was just, we couldn't have that. It instilled a sense of patriotism in me as a kid.
That's
I
good.
wonder when that happens for you first. I would probably guess for a lot of people, middle school, likely high school, you start paying attention to issues.
Yeah.
Nope. Hulk Hogan, the flag waving Hulk Hogan was under threat, and I was like, no, this can't be. It just can't be.
Oh Lord!
Yeah.
Well, this conversation is going to get interesting with everything going on with him now in the media. But before we start this show, since you're feeling patriotic, I feel like we need to take a shot of the red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
Smearing off, that is.
Oh my God! Too bad this ain't an ad break.
Yeah. So I'm about to pour up the shot right quick.
It's funny. You know what's corny? I said it before too. We're talking about my childhood, and that tastes like my childhood. Not the Smirnoff part, but the bomb pop part.
Yep.
Yeah. The ice cream, man. That's childhood right there. It's nostalgic. And you know what? I got to say, too, that we're here to reminisce. And I got to say, when we were first talking about the podcast, talking about
how to get it going.
Yeah. But if I may, what role I would play.
Yeah.
You guys have invited me on a lot. I love coming on here. I said, right, if you're talking about classic wrestling, let me come and cook, please. And we kind of knew this moment was coming. And then, this new segment, it's money, man.
Thank you. So, all right, here we go.
Yeah. To the red, white, and blue.
To the red, white, and blue. All right. We're going to start the show. We're at Season 7, Episode 1, WrestleMania. We're kicking it off at 3 hours on the dot and 32 seconds. And right now, we see Hulk Hogan getting beat up by Sergeant Slaughter with the World Heavyweight Championship. Man, Slaughter looks like he's in Call of Duty right now. He don't have the boots at the time, but he's just whooping on Hogan.
This is crazy, man. I mean, like, I really am a visual person. I like those boots. I like those boots. They almost look like spats, which is like what the Joker would wear, the white over the black dress shoes.
Slaughter got Hogan in the not the camel clutch, the Cobra clutch. Yeah,
no,
camel clutch.
It is the camel.
Yeah, camel clutch.
It is absolutely the camel clutch, and that is new.
Oh, the first time you did it?
Because when we say thorough, we mean thorough. He's an Iraqi sympathizer.
Yeah.
So they gave him a move called the camel clutch. I mean, thorough to a fault. But, I mean, just, we're not talking about Terry Bollea today. We're talking about Hulk Hogan. This dude could get sympathy from Iraq.
Yeah. Hogan is talking to Mean Gene Okerlund right now. He got a Hulk Rules t-shirt, got the gold chains, but this time
Hands are moving.
He has a star blue headband right now. Yep,
Right.
He's patriotic right now.
Yeah, departure from the mustard and ketchup motif. He usually is.
Ripping off the shirt. Look at the chains, man. Hogan was cool, man.
I know, he's got the look. He's got the look.
Man.
He's a peach Incredible Hulk.
I just think he was black. You never seen nobody with that skin tone like that, man. Look at that. Hogan flexing right there.
Hulkamania will live forever. That is correct.
It is correct.
That will prove to be true. Yeah, this WrestleMania, very special. It's number 7. So eventually, it's starting to take on, a life of its own.
Yeah.
Everyone's familiar with it. But again, can't understate the significance that this war is playing, not just in this feud, but in this whole time, this show. You know, the entire arena is decked out like it's the 4th of July.
Yeah, red, white, and blue. Yep. All right, so we just see Regis Philbin. We see Alex Trebek. And what's her name?
I didn't see. Very likely Vanna White.
Nah, it's not Vanna.
Who is that? I'm not going to lie. I feel like there was 6 Vanna Whites. Throughout the years, they just swap them out.
All the different hairstyles.
I don't really know.
Who's that? Marla Maple? I can't think who it is right now, but they about to ring the bell and announce and everything else.
In session, yeah.
I think that is Marla. That is Marla Maple.
Is it Marla? Okay.
That's Marla. Is it Maple
Is it Marla Maple?
or Maples?
Maples? I don't know.
Marla.
It doesn't matter.
We're going to call her the first mistress. If you know.
Didn't Regis pass away?
I'm not going to lie. I have no idea.
I know Trebek did.
Trebek is...
Yeah, he passed a couple years ago.
He's doing the... That banner is serious.
That's fire.
Yeah, and see the red, white, and blue right within vision, or within shot of the camera. This is because of this specific match. How many times in WrestleMania history has the motif of the show reflected one specific storyline?
You really don't see that.
You really don't.
No, you really don't.
Now they have their motifs, right? We all remember the pirate ship.
Yep.
Unfortunately, we had that one really bad wrestler that was a pirate, and he was the only one that benefited from it, and that stunk. But anyways,
I wasn't even thinking about the wrestler because when they had the pirate, Tampa Bay.
and that's what I was going to say.
that's-
So what they do, what is common, is for the motif to reflect the town. We just had the biggest WrestleMania of all time in Philadelphia, and it was green everywhere.
Yeah.
And you know why.
Yep.
So I mean, they do things like that, but this is all about this storyline. There's
Yep.
American flags everywhere.
Yep. All right, Sergeant Slaughter's out there with the Royal Wrestling Federation Championship. He's with General Adnan.
Champion. Now, I do not think in this match we're going to see it, but I have to give a shout out to one of the best drop kicks of all time. It is Sergeant Slaughter. This dude could get up there before we had Hardcore Holly, who basically does a textbook drop kick.
Holly got a good drop kick,
Holly
and
got the
Orton
drop
got a good
kick.
drop kick.
Orton got a good drop, but you know
Okada,
what? I'm
yep.
not even going to put Orton on the list because he's fucking good at everything. Got me out here cussing.
Here comes Hogan with the red, white, and blue flag. All Americana right here. And a new T-shirt.
This is classic, man. Yeah, Hulk rules.
Heck yeah.
Waving the flag, which he did not always do.
No.
He didn't
no.
always do that. Sergeant Slaughter did.
Yeah.
But they both didn't really do it all the time because we have come on, with the 2x4
Hacksaw.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan. But you knew you were gonna get a giant flag with
Look at everybody. Everybody's going crazy for Hulk right now. They're going crazy for America right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
they're
saying.
hyped up.
This is one of those rare moments, man, where even Hulk Hogan is not actually, the center of everything right now. He's the avatar. These people are here to defend their country. It's powerful. It's super powerful, and Hogan is their champion.
Imagine if he lost his match. Oh, they would have riot. They would have riot.
Is this 2015? We're just doing everything that the fans don't want.
Hey, look at Macaulay Culkin.
That's definitely Marlon Maples, by the way. Yep, for sure.
All right.
Hogan is already furious.
Yeah, he's outside the ring. He's running in slow motion.
A fully dressed Sergeant Slaughter is running from Hulk Hogan right now.
Where's the Sheik at the time? I know he was in this corner at one point. Yeah.
I mean, he's active now.
No, I'm saying, yeah, but how come he's not here with Adnan outside?
That's a good point. Maybe I couldn't tell you, but in my head, I'm going to say maybe he would take away from it a little bit. Because who is this dude? What role did he ever serve before this one? I don't remember where this guy came from.
Honestly, I can't tell you. I know he's a wrestler, yeah,
he's
but
there for the aura, right? Every once in a
Yeah.
while they got to have more. The heel champions always have, a staff. They
Yeah.
always got
Yeah.
a little faction of people around that they can hide behind.
Yep.
That can help them win a match. And that the hero can beat up on for a little bit before the pay-per-view. So that's the role this
Yeah.
dude serves, but I don't remember where he came from.
I gotta look that up.
I don't know why we have to deal with him and not Sheik. But yeah, Sheiky might overshadow a little bit. They want to keep it on these two.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Slaughter got the gear off right now. Hogan's ready. They're pacing around the ring.
It's funny you say that because Slaughter pretty decked out right now. He's still wearing some camo. That son of a bitch.
With a random tank top.
With a random tank top over it. He's got a couple different outfits on right now.
Seriously.
He couldn't make up his mind before he left the hotel, I guess.
The referee's saying, let's go, let's get it on. Let's do it.
Sergeant Slaughter has said that this was an uncomfortable outfit to wrestle in.
Yep.
But it's funny to me, we've talked about before how in modern wrestling you see some people in high-top Nikes, Jordans. Shane was wearing Jordans for a while back in the day.
Yeah.
Before we had the Usos and before we had Roman Reigns. But anyways, I never really loved that idea. I like everybody to be in wrestling gear. I'm a purist.
Yeah, me too.
That way. But when it works, it works. Right now, it's working. They want you to hate everything about Sergeant Slaughter, and right now, this man is in this ring dressed like, he shouldn't be here. It's all designed to make you not like him. But later on, we see a lot more wrestlers.
Sergeant Slaughter complaining that Hogan grabbed his hair. Hogan's like, you ain't got no hair, brother.
These two are fighting over who has more hair. It might have to. Hogan's is longer, but we know that about that little Oompa Loompa curl that Sergeant Slaughter has at the front of his head.
Yeah, so we are at 3 hours, 10 minutes, and 15, 16, 17 seconds, and Hogan has Slaughter in the headlock. Slaughter just threw Hogan to the ropes. Test the strength right here.
Hulk Hogan once said, maybe it was in jest, but this was years after his prime, so he was reflecting. Oh, we get a little. Okay, what was that? Just a push?
Hogan hit him with a shoulder tackle,
and we get a sell,
an oversell.
We get an oversell from Sergeant Slaughter that is very reminiscent of Rocky's oversell with the stunner, man. Where he's flipping up into the nosebleed section. Yeah.
You guys got to tune into this match. This is a must-watch match right here, especially for this time period. Look, Adnan just hit Hogan with a double axe handle, and Hogan's backing him down right now.
Hogan once said that, reflecting in an interview, that he wouldn't have chosen the leg drop for a finisher. Same reason Stone Cold probably regrets his finisher, because you're coming down on your spine every night. The finisher he said he might have chosen instead?
What?
Sleeper. Did you expect anything else?
No.
If he's showing up to say, I could have put in less work and made $1 billion.
Yeah.
The sleeper. It's like giving somebody a hug. But anyways, he is right about one thing though, that it is about that. This is the name of the game. You wanna make it look like you're killing each other and everybody's fine. That.
So that's why when he lost to Warrior with that leg drop when he missed, like he oversold that joint. Oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
back.
yeah.
The Warrior with the splash and he won that joint.
The psychology, man, the psychology. They're just circling the ring, trading blows. Punch, punch, punch. Punch, punch, punch.
Has Hogan ever had a squash match? Can you recall?
Where he squashes?
Yeah.
Or where he gets squashed?
No, where he squashed.
He's never been squashed.
Because like every match, he has like the same match, he'll start off hot, then he'll get beat up for
You
like a
know
good
what?
5-10 minutes.
You know what? No, I'm gonna say no because it isn't for him. Because he's a big man, but
Yeah.
that's why he's at the top.
Yeah.
Because he can make you he can endear himself to the fans like the Hurricane could.
Yeah.
Right? They loved him that much. He's that harmless and innocent and fun. He can be fun sometimes, I guess. He's always intense.
At this time, he was.
But he can get sympathy like Bret Hart as well.
Yeah.
And that combination, plus he is the size he is, that's not for him. The squash match is for the guy whose Hogan size or bigger that doesn't have the mouthpiece Hogan has.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You want to put him over, you show the crowd that he is over by making him squash someone. Hogan never did that. He's that perfect formula where you feed him bad guys.
And at this time, he wasn't fighting no jobbers.
No.
Like you wouldn't see him on like no regular show.
No.
Unless it's like Saturday Night's Main Event, something like that.
No,
So, yeah.
no. This is also remnants of the territory days where that doesn't work for me, brother. It existed back here too, even if he didn't have creative control, which I think at this time he might have had some bit of it. I mean, I don't know that part, but I mean, when Vince was like, "Come work for me. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You're going to be the guy.
Yeah, you're gonna be the guy. Yep.
So he doesn't have creative control, but he didn't need it because he always knew he was being taken care of.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking, a little bit later, speaking of Hogan, you're going to see someone like Stone Cold, ironically, say, "I'm not working with him.
Yeah.
He's not a jobber,
Yep.
but he might perform like one in the shape he's in. I ain't working with him."
Yep.
And that's the kind of call Hogan was making all the time. "No, I'm not working with him. Slaughter? Yeah, I'll work with Slaughter." But feeding the babyface giant heels, man, that's as old as time.
Yeah.
And it works every
Yeah.
time.
It definitely does.
It definitely does.
All right. Hogan's taking it to Slaughter right now. He's picking him up.
Yeah, it's funny. I wonder.
Threw him to the corner. Back body drop.
Yeah, you can go on your back, brother. I'll be up here.
Look who's in the front row.
Who am I looking at?
The Donald.
Oh, that's why Marla Maples is there. That's why she's the first mistress. If you know, you know. Yeah.
Yep, he's right there.
Yeah.
Front row.
I will say that he has always had a connection to the WWE. He has.
He got a connection with Hulk Hogan.
He had a connection with Hulk Hogan, but I mean Vince and him. I mean they are similarly minded. Even back then, they're ambitious. They want people to know they're rich. That's pretty much it. They had a lot. They had that in common, and that was enough.
Yep. Hulk Hogan to a slingshot to Sergeant Slaughter into the corner, and that was the slowest slingshot ever, man.
Yeah, Slaughter looks like he's had enough.
It's like Hogan just trying out moves right now.
I've seen Hogan do a drop kick before.
Yeah, it was okay. Yeah,
It was also in Japan, so you know how long ago.
For him being almost 6'8", Hogan with the ugliest chop right now.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, we are at 3 hours and 16 minutes and 13, 14, 15 seconds. And Hogan is just toying with Slaughter right now.
He is. It doesn't look like Slaughter's going to be able to come back. We're going to see. But Hogan is definitely having his way with this man right now.
Can you believe, I mean to cut you off, WrestleMania 1, main event. WrestleMania 2, main event. WrestleMania 3, main event. 4, he didn't get the main event. WrestleMania 5, main event. 6, 7, he didn't main event. 8, he had that bullshit WrestleMania 9.
9 was the main event. Right?
That's why it was bullshit.
Yeah.
It was bullshit.
Yeah.
What that? What? It was Brett and Yoko. Brett, I can't do it. You just go do it. Go.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Oh, man. And after that, then that's when his last run was King of the Ring. But can you believe this man was Mr. WrestleMania for the decade?
For a decade. It was, he was the star of the show. It was all about him. Which, again, is why this show is so special, because tonight, even he might agree. You might get Hulk Hogan to say, "No, it's not about me, brother. This is about America."
I know.
It's about being betrayed by somebody that was on our side at one point. And what I was gonna say is, the heel turn is not anything new.
Hogan's going on top rope right now.
Oh yeah, this is how you know it's WrestleMania. This is how you know the country's on the line because he's on the top rope
and
he
not
does
grabbing
not
the
do
leg.
that. Oh, are we gonna get the flare cell?
Yep.
Oh, there it is.
Well, go ahead. What were you saying?
Hogan off the top rope on his back right now. Looks like we got to reset. That the heel turn isn't anything new, but I mean this kind of heel turn where you turn Slaughter from one thing to the total opposite of his character. It's not, you get one character. Triple H was always a badass, but he could be good or bad.
Yeah.
He was always a badass Triple H.
Yeah.
This isn't Sergeant Slaughter. This isn't our Sergeant Slaughter.
No.
It's a different person. And the only other thing I can think of that's similar to that is Hollywood Hogan. So I was going to say, if we're talking about how many seeds were planted this night, I mean, Hogan is aware that somebody who's the all-American hero can ditch the red, white, and blue and just go in the other direction.
But at this time, Hogan knows he's kind of, getting stale. But this is like a good storyline for him because he wanted to turn heel, but Vince didn't want to pull the trigger. So you just imagine for almost 10 years, he was a straight babyface. Like, that's unheard of right now. Well, the only one who really does that, like Rey Mysterio.
You say pull the trigger, I say pull the plug. Because right now, this is a golden goose, right? This is a tank full of money. And if you turn this particular Hulk Hogan heel, you are pulling the plug on that source of income. Yeah. And that is definitely what was motivating Vince McMahon. You got a few more years in you, Hulkster. You got a few more years in you, but when this man does reach the end of his run, the decision to go black and white, I mean...
Just think about it. That was 5 years later.
At the moment, I can't think of a more significant event in wrestling. I can't. Because, it's impetus for... the Attitude Era and at least the Monday Night War.
Yeah.
So I can't. When he slammed Andre, come on. Andre was slammed 11 times before he did that.
But just because it was on WrestleMania,
right?
They made it a big deal.
So that's the misconception that it was so important because of that. But
oh my gosh, Slaughter with the backbreaker to Hogan. That was so slow motion and put no effort into it.
Was that his finisher?
Nah, I thought he was a Cobra Clutch at one point.
I mean, now it is. I'm saying, because they did change his finisher to the Cobra Clutch or the Camel Clutch for this reason, for this feud. How was he finishing people before? Russian leg sweep?
I don't remember Slaughter back in the day.
Everyone on this roster was doing the Russian leg sweep back then, by the way. Everyone.
That's your super kick.
That's the first super kick.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
That's your
I'll
super
give
kick.
you that. Breaking ground on the podcast here tonight.
And the crazy thing,
figured it out. The precursor to the super kick in terms of the power it had, and then eventually what it became.
Yep.
Dude, everyone had a Russian leg sweep. I can picture Slaughter doing it. I know I can. Brett, I mean,
he had the best.
From Slaughter to Brett.
Brett had the best Russian leg sweep.
He did.
Oh man, that was so fluent.
And I know you think he had the best sharpshooter too.
Damn right.
I mean, I'm a Rocky stan to the end.
Yes, I love the Rock.
He did not have the best
that should look terrible.
Yeah, it was too soon. You can't have that. You can't have that. We already had two prominent ones, but they existed in two universes. Hell, so it didn't overshadow. We still liked Brett. Brett was still walking around and shit. Like, you can't also do that.
Even when Natalia put the sharpshooter on, that shit looked trash.
Nah.
I'm like, yo. All right, so we got Sergeant Slaughter. He has Hogan in the Boston Crab right now. Hogan is so close to the ropes, but he's not grabbing the ropes.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. We got 3 hours and 21 minutes and 52, 53, and Hogan is right by the ropes, and he's just taking it.
Come on,
right
Slaughter.
Now. Oh, he finally grabbed the ropes.
There he goes.
There you go.
Remember where he was. So much for a ring general. This guy couldn't even see the ropes next to him.
Slaughter's jumping up and down. I won. I did it. The referee's like, get your hands down. You ain't do nothing. No. He grabbed the ropes. Here you go. Slaughter punch him to the back. Hogan drops down.
To the back.
Here we go. So you already know what time it's about to be. I feel like another time for a shot. So
it might be.
It might be. Come on. Come on, red, white, and blue.
Yeah, come on, red, white, and blue. What a perfect time for this match.
Seriously.
Olympics, looking good across the world. Feeling very patriotic.
Glass. All right, so me and the boys, and It Doesn't Matter podcast, we just recently recorded an episode about Hulk Hogan. And we all loved Hulk Hogan as a kid. And basically, Hogan's fucking up.
Oh, yeah.
He's fucking up big time. I'm not talking about this match, but everything that he's doing right now, just be in the spotlight.
Terry. We can say Terry.
Yeah, Terry is fucking up
Terry,
right now.
you out here doing too much.
Yes, you're doing too much, man.
Terry, you're doing too much right now.
So, I guess I seen something earlier today that he was talking about putting Kamala in the leg drop.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's from today? I did not know that.
I'm not sure when he said it was like yesterday, something like that. I'm not talking about Kamala the wrestler. I'm talking about Kamala Harris. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. All right. Why not?
Yeah. Slaughter with a chair shot.
I would say this. What if she kicks out of the 3 count though? Because I'm sure she would. Oh, we got a cover from Slaughter. 1, 2.
Dave Hebner with the slowest count ever.
Dave Hebner forgot what he was doing
Oh,
for a second.
man.
And that is Dave Hebner, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh, how could we forget?
Hogan is busted open.
How could we forget? Because we weren't satisfied with getting the most sympathy for Hulk Hogan that you could possibly get this man. Let's get some color.
So I'm assuming this is a no disqualification match. Adnan, he interfered so many times. The chair shot. And Hogan, he is bloody.
Now, I missed it. Is that from a chair shot?
He took the chair shot. He was down. We didn't see. I didn't see a swipe, nothing like that.
Okay.
So
I mean, yeah. What do they want us to think? That's from a chair shot?
This ain't WCW. WCW would have seen him take the blade out.
Hulk Hogan, barely recognizable behind that crimson mask.
Oh man, look at that visual right there.
Oh,
Hogan is bloody and he is in the camel clutch right now.
I got a clap. I love this business so much. This is the good stuff right here. This is so good.
Oh man, Hogan, he is bloody.
But if you turn him upside, if you flip him backwards, right? This is Bret on top of Austin.
Yeah.
And I'm not crazy, man.
Yeah.
Bret Hart pulls back on that sharpshooter, and you can see the blood come out of his head.
Yep.
It was almost like it was connected.
So when I make
he pulls back and it gushes out.
Yeah. So I make the cover for this episode. You want this visual right here? It's gonna have to be black and white, of course. But
Oh, black and white. That's a good question. A lot of good thumbnails.
oh man, that might get.
That would be a good one. And black and white, I think, would be appropriate.
Yeah, I can't do the color. Too graphic, brother.
All right.
Hogan's hulking up.
We're getting the Hulk up.
And Slaughter's not a small dude. He's at least like 300.
I might guess Slaughter weighs more than Hulk Hogan right now.
Yeah.
It might not be by much, but he is a big boy.
Hogan got up with Slaughter, and Slaughter countered and threw him right into the corner. Hogan is down. I'm about to take the shots because it's crunch time because Slaughter just got the flag. He just spit on Hogan. He just put the flag on top of Hogan.
Oh.
He's going for the pin. 1, 2.
Disrespect. Disrespect.
You don't put that damn flag on my face.
We got a ref injury.
Oh,
I thought we had a ref injury.
and Hogan, he rips the flag.
Hulk Hogan ripping that blood stain.
1 punch
Iraqi
to Hogan. 2nd punch to Hogan. Hogan gets up to 1 knee. 3rd punch to Hogan. Hogan, he's hulking up. He's shaking. He's hulking up right now. Here we go. You see the blood in his hands. I'm bleeding. Another punch. You don't do that. No. You don't do that. No. It's my time now. He goes for another punch. Hogan with a big punch. Hogan with another big punch. He throws him to the rope. Big boot.
Oh, the fans are on their feet.
Hogan with a leg drop.
Oh, is this it?
1, 2, 3. Hulk Hogan is your winner. The USA wins again.
This is big.
Yo, so how come Adnan didn't interfere at that time?
Well, yeah, where is he? He's on his ass.
Look, he's right there. Oh my God, what happened?
This is why he gets fired.
Oh man.
Fight for what's right.
Yeah, it's fight for what's right. Yo, it's just crazy.
This arena is unglued.
This man, Slaughter, he whooped his ass. He had some good offense.
Hogan has blood on his tights.
Yeah, Slaughter had some good offense, but as soon as you put that flag on his face, brother, no, you don't do that. Hogan with the belt.
And that belt, man, I say it almost feels like that belt was designed for him.
Nah,
just because of the visual.
that's the Bret Hart belt.
Yeah, you're right about
He looked better in the big gold. Hogan did.
Yeah, I always get them mixed up. So then this is the one that The Rock carries. Right? There's a big one and a small one?
The Rock had the bigger one. Yeah, the big eagle.
One.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, Hogan is posing. Hogan got the flag. He's bloody. Look, oh man, thumbs up.
And I'm sure the security force in this arena is very relieved right now, because if you want to talk about heat, I mean, in an arena that is completely adorned in American flags and red, white, and blue, to see Sergeant Slaughter walk out of this arena with that title, you would have had people catching cases for sure, left and right.
Yeah. All right, so you know better than me. What did Slaughter do after this match?
No, I don't remember that.
No?
No, I don't remember that.
I'm curious. Like, all right, your payoff is WrestleMania. Obviously, you didn't get the win, but
I can't imagine he showed up on Raw the next day.
it wasn't no Raw at the time.
You're right.
Yeah, Raw didn't happen until '93.
Which means I'm right. He did not show up on Raw the next day.
Yeah, so can't ask Strap Facts because he's a '95 guy, so we don't know.
He might know.
Definitely have to look that up.
Oh my God.
Hogan just wiped his face.
There's a
with the-
blood-soaked American flag that exists out there in the world somewhere with Hogan's blood on it.
Oh Lord, that's the patriotic blood right there.
The red, white, and blue everywhere. This man is in his element right now.
Come on,
That's a good picture right there.
Hogan was the man. Hogan, yeah. Oh man, this is it.
There's a banner. There's a banner. Behind the main camera, right in sight.
Yeah.
What wrestlers got that before this? Who was it? Was there an Andre banner? Was there a Macho Man banner?
They had a banner of Warrior.
They had a Warrior
Yeah,
banner?
they had a Warrior and Hogan banner. I think it was at WrestleMania VI. You seen that in the crowd.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's about it.
I would venture to guess that you were seeing stuff like that with Hogan, and they made Warrior one as well.
Yeah, the Warrior was supposed to be that next guy. So,
well, I'm just talking about how the fans get engaged, because that's how you know you made it, right? When you see people holding a big Y, a big E, and a big S.
Shoot, you see the
Eddies.
Eddie, yeah.
The EDDIE that were in the crowd, and then of course the ROCK.
Yep.
I mean, you really made it when that happens, and you, at least on two hands, you can count the amount of people who got that kind of sign.
Did you see the people in the front row with the computer paper? Y'all might not know computer paper back in the day. Computer paper is the little dots, and then it was like it was like at least 4 or 5 people said Hulkamania will live forever, something like that.
This is the because there was no like cell phone lights.
Nah.
This is what you had. This was you bringing your technology to the
And the crazy thing is, there was no cell phones then. Well, it might have been like the Zach Morris cell phone, whatever, but it was no pictures.
You said Trump was in the crowd. If Trump wasn't holding a cell phone, there was no cell phone.
Yeah, so
I mean, I don't think there was back then.
Well, you're enjoying this show. You're sitting there, like this.
Yeah,
you're in the moments.
Yeah.
You might have your little Polaroid, whatever. That's about it. But you're in the moment. That's it.
Yeah, it was a different time. It was a completely different time. Very, very exciting for the crowd because there was no distractions like that. We don't realize just how much we're distracted these days.
Yeah,
we really are.
Seriously.
Taken out of the moment with things.
Seriously, everybody. Yeah, take a picture for a sign. Just live in the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I do look back on that one so fondly. When I was a kid, though, I mean, at this time, while I'm watching this WrestleMania, I also have a Sergeant Slaughter action figure, and he's not in an Iraqi uniform. He is Sergeant Slaughter. So I mean, just to drive that point home, I talked about He-Man before, and that kind of precedent being set where, you know, my whole life is what I'm seeing on TV at that age.
Yeah.
And not just the cartoons, but the commercials in between. You know, there was a time when commercials were made in such a way that they would try to appeal directly to the kids, and there was laws in place. There was laws put in place so that they would scale that back because it was unfair to manipulate and appeal to an undeveloped mind in that way. And we, you know, when I say like aspects to this show, to this time in wrestling, still linger for me. I mean, that concept fascinates me where, you know, people would have to step in and pay attention to that type of advertising and scale it back. The He-Man concept where, you know, there's a cartoon that exists specifically for selling action figures.
Yep.
That is also what G.I. Joe was.
Yeah.
And it worked on me so well. My profession today is marketing. It's advertising.
There you go.
I mean, so much of this still lingers in me. So much of this show still lingers in me. Incredible.
There you go. Wrestling that made us, cartoons that made us, action figures that made us.
All of it.
All of it. This is our childhood right here. Well, Eddie, man, it's a good time, man. This is a great match. You know, I want to definitely do it again.
Yeah.
I like the nostalgic stuff, so
Yeah,
whatever you want to do. It doesn't have to be all about Hulk Hogan. They got other people out there, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, this one was all about Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad to be on and speak up for the bad guy too, because I mean, yeah, it was all about Hulk Hogan, but he couldn't do anything without an adequate opponent, and Sergeant Slaughter was definitely that, and setting up a little bit of trends himself, starting a little bit of trends himself, showing people that you could take the All-American hero and change his colors and still get money out of it.
Seriously, still to this day.
Still to this day. Yeah. No kidding.
All right. Well, guys, this is another episode of Wrestling That Made Us. I'm your host. I'm the notorious one. I am Dom. I'm here with my man, Savage Eddie Long. You want to cut one more promo to close this out?
One more promo?
One more promo? You got one in you?
Let's see here. Oh, it was a good time, yeah. We had the time of our lives. But we're not done. Because the next time the Macho Man comes back, the next time you all see Mr. Savage, yeah, I want to see strapbacks. Because I got some facts of my own, and you might not like the way they taste, John, but you're going to swallow them anyway. Yeah!
John, he's calling you out, brother. We got to get you all here in the same venue together. But you know what? We will see y'all next time. Boo!